I would like to thank the organizers, and I hope that's not within the 5 minutes. Please come closer to me. I have Louisa Hutton from Sarber and Mark van de Beeken from Experientia with me, and I will speak on behalf of the three of us. The main concept, and hope the clock starts now, is that we have proposed this idea of a city as a living factory of ecology. We believe that the form and the content of the project has to be thinking and producing innovation and value in terms of sustainability. And we thought that we could challenge ourselves and challenge the audience and challenge the brief by saying Low2No to carbon negative. And you will see this in detail in the presentation later on, but basically we've moved from carbon neutrality to carbon negative, and that's one of the main elements of this project, we believe. And what we imagine is a mix of in sea life, where you have living, leisure, innovation, and entrepreneurship, and that's the content that produces the innovation and the need for low carbon or carbon negative solutions that we will bring into the project. And that's the idea of evolving a low carbon strategy from low to no to negative. We also imagine that we have tools to define this change, and that's about the governance and how the economic frameworks help to do that. And we believe that by triggering systemic change, we pick upon the existing and deliver the new thinking. This is very important in that we want to create knowledge on site, meaning the programs and the activities and the people that work on site will help us do that. We want to build replicability, and we will talk about that very quickly later. And we want to build excellence by creating a city that we can love and a home that we can identify with. We believe it's strongly in the idea that identity and ownership is very important to produce this change. We believe that behavioral change is core to the whole thing, in the sense of what Marco was saying before, and the president of CITRA was saying before, where people are core to the end user is core to the solution and the problem. And delivering a credible framework is the idea that all of these ideas that we put forward have to come into an economic framework that can be replicable not only at the scale of our block, but at the scale of Jätkäsaari and at the scale of Finland, which was one of the key elements of the brief. And then 9 ideas very quickly. One is that this is a design of a program and activities and economic activities that we put together to create innovation on site. And that is what it's called, a city as a living factory of ecology. The idea that there's a climate neutral district, so that the block, the mechanisms, the governance and economic mechanisms of the block are replicated for Jätkäsaari, and you can see that later on, and we can talk about the detail. The idea that basically we thought that it was more important to reduce energy on site and produce energy off site, because it was the most cost-effective way of doing it and the most replicable way of doing it. The idea that we design buildings for change, so that buildings can adapt in time in terms of its materiality, in terms of its uses, and in terms of its functions. The idea that we use resources efficiently by building a plinth, which is mainly in concrete, and then all the upper parts of the buildings are done in wood, which is a very important element of the Finnish industry and the Finnish culture. We believe that also an idea is to embody the spirit of the master plan by trying to create sustainable urbanism from this seed, which is this block, and to create a quality and sensuous architecture that creates well-being for the individual. And there, a seventh idea, another idea is that we want to empower people by engaging them, incentivizing them, realizing the benefits of this change, and communicating and leading. What we mean by that is that we want people not only to benefit from the things that they're going to do while living in this block, but also that they would lead and produce change in Jätkäsaari by demonstrating how good it is to live in this way. Another idea is to move smartly, and we think that because of the centrality of the site and because of its characteristics, you could actually not have a car here, and that was one of the key elements of the proposition, and there's many elements to it that we would be able to see later on. The 9th idea is that you could produce part of your food basket on site, 50% of your food basket on site, which reduces carbon emissions and creates another element of the lifestyle, which is quite important. And there's a few achievements, one in terms of the performance indicators of the project, which I would just dwell on one of them, which is by 2021, with all the strategies that we have proposed, the project will become carbon neutral. And after that, it will become carbon negative. And by the end of that process, it should be able to offset 50% of the life cycle emissions of the project. And finally, and I hope I'm on my 5 minutes, we would like to say that we were very keen on the brief that was sent and given to us by Citra, because we believe that the ability to replicate and empower Citra and Finland to move this forward in a world that needs solutions of this level is the idea that we can design, demonstrate, delight people, governments, stakeholders, and diffuse these ideas, diffuse policies, diffuse technology, diffuse lifestyle, and with that we think we could produce a proposal that is powerful and attractive and realizable for this project. Thank you.